Today I want to focus on values because values are our guideposts along the way and should be included in any decisions that we make so that we know we're being true to ourselves. Because quite often we can get distracted by other people's needs and wants and sacrifice. So the first thing I want you to do is grab your journal and a pen, and I want you to reflect on what your values have been in the past. So as an extreme example, if we go back to our childhood, our values are we want to be loved by our mum and dad. It's our survival, we need them. Our values are probably playing with our toys. Our values are very different then to what they were last week. And as we progress and learn and develop and get more in tune with ourselves, our values change. So write down what your values have been in the past. And once you've done that, I want you to think about, you can pause the video. I then want you to think about what your values are moving forward. Because, as I mentioned, they change. And once we have our values, we know what our values are. Every time we make a decision, we can ask ourselves, does this align with my values? So values of mine now are authenticity. That's a massive one for me because I was a chameleon growing up. My past values was being liked and fitting in. Now I'm all about being authentically me. My values are not being selfish, but thinking of myself. Because again, that past version of me that wanted to fit in did everything for everyone else. You see? So now I value things that I want and need. And then I'm able to give from that overflowing cup instead of the empty one. So reflect on your past values and then look at what your future values are. Again, pause the video. Now I'm going to take you through the 14 laws, I've got them written down here, 14 laws of successful influence. Now this isn't about manipulating people, this is about being successful in what you're trying to do. And that is a necessary part of life as well, right? So these are really important steps. So the first one is to respect the other person's model of the world. We all have our own life to live. We all have our own reason for being where we are in any given moment. So we need to respect where someone else is in their journey, okay? Number 2, behavior and change are evaluated in terms of context and ecology. In any given situation, everybody has a different viewpoint. So we need to consider that. And the ecology, the environment in which it happens. Where someone is on a front line in a war as an extreme example, their behavior there is going to be seen differently as to in the front yard. Okay. Number 3, resistance in another person is a sign of a lack of rapport. So if someone is resistant to what you're doing or saying, it's usually because they well, maybe they don't like you, but there's definitely a disconnect there. Okay, so if there's resistance, there's not resistant people, there's just an inflexible communication. Okay. Number 4, people are not their behaviors. We all act differently in certain situations. Okay, so we don't judge a person by their behavior. It's not who they are necessarily. Number 5, everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have available. I was teaching the science of human performance for a while there, and the catchphrase for that was people do what they do, the time that they do it, for reasons that make sense to them at the time. So that's what that's about. Number 6, calibrate on behavior. The most important information about a person is that person's behavior. Actions speak louder than words, right? So however they're behaving in a certain situation can show you where they're at. Again, we're not judging the person. just shows us where they're at. Number 7, the map is not the territory. The words we use are not the event or the item they represent. People put so much into words, I find, and I'm not, you've probably realised that, I'm not very articulate. So when I'm judged on my words, I've just explained it the best that I can. In a lot of ways it's good because it's simple, right, for me. But I think the intention is more important than the words themselves. Because one word can be said 5 different ways, you see? So don't judge necessarily on the words themselves. Number 8, you are in charge of your mind and therefore your results. And I'm in charge of my own mind and therefore my own results. So that basically that boils down to the choices and decisions we make, right? Number 9, people have all the resources they need to succeed and to achieve their desired outcomes. So that means there's no unresourceful people. There's just that procrastination and laziness, and right? Or you don't have the knowledge, but you can always find the knowledge. Number 10, all procedures should increase wholeness, which brings me to the values at the beginning. Everything we do has to be around those values, so we're achieving what we want and need for ourselves. Number 11, there is only feedback, not failure. So true. Just take action. And when you take that action, you'll get feedback. And the feedback might be, well, that didn't work. So you go, okay, I'll go this way then. Or it might be, that was really good. So you move forward with that action again. It's all just feedback, right? Number 12, the meaning of communication is the response you get. It doesn't matter how clearly you think you said something, it's how that person receives it. That is what you communicated, okay? So if what you're trying to get across hasn't been heard, find another way to say it. Explain it differently. Or even ask them, how did you receive that? Because this is what I meant, okay? Number 13, the law of requisite variety, which states that the person with the most flexibility of behaviour will control the system. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to pivot. Because if you remain rigid, you're not going to move forward at all. And the last one, all procedures should be designed to increase choice. The more doors we have open, the better, right? And there's a quote here by Byron Katie. If you don't know of her, look her up. She's amazing. Anything you want to ask a teacher, ask yourself. If you really want to know the truth, the answer will meet your question. Okay, so remember, look at your values, past, future, and I'll put these 14 laws in the comments so you've got access to those. Bye.